Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the game. According to me, I'm giving you my rankings of the starting quarterbacks this year in the National Football League. I'm going to be doing this for the running backs as well and the receiving corps. Those will be coming out this upcoming Monday and Wednesday. But today is the quarterbacks. I'm gonna talk a little bit about each one of them and give you my ranking and things like that. So let's just jump right into it. My first quarterback, the number one quarterback in the league, is Josh Allen. I love I love the fact he's 6'5". He runs like a gazelle. He's got that rocket of an arm. Everything. I think he's going to be my MVP pick this year. He is just totally. This is the year for the Bills, and I think it all rests on Josh Allen. Hopefully, if Josh Allen can stay healthy, I think he will win the MVP, and I think the Bills will be in the Super Bowl. Number two is Patrick Mahomes, another guy with a rocket of an arm, the mobility, everything that he needs to do to be there. And I think he's learned from the last year's little hiccup that they had when in the season they went through a couple of a lull of not being able to like move the ball down the field. I think he's kind of learned to take what is given and not go for the no, try to go for the Hail Mary, especially with Tyreek Hill now being gone. He doesn't have that spot. McCole Hardman is very fast, but he still, hasn't proved that he can be a number one. They brought in Juju Smith-Schuster to help him out. And Travis Kelce's always there as well. So I think Patrick Mahomes is number two. Number three is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers lost Devontae Adams. He's in Oakland, but I think that he will. He's the kind of quarterback that can make stars out of receivers, and I think he will make a star out of one receiver at least. Who knows if it's Alan Lazard or the rookie Christian Watson, but he will be there, and I think he is always in the upper echelon of quarterbacks each and every year, the back-to-back MVP. Number four is Justin Herbert of the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he's got talented weapons as well with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and I think he's going into now his third year, I believe, is it? Um, yeah, I think maybe it's his third year, and I think yeah, and usually quarterbacks they make a jump from rookie to second year, but then and then the next jump is a really big jump from second to third year, and I think he's going to be that one to do so. So Justin Herbert is going to make a tremendous play, and he's in a tough division, but I think Justin Herbert can do it. Number five is Tom Brady, the old man. He's Chris Godwin isn't expected to come back until later on in the year. Obviously, Gronk is retired for now. He has Mike Evans. They signed Julio Jones, and Cameron Brate is a very solid tight end as well. And of course, he has the backs of Leonard Floyd as well. So Tom Brady is going to be what Tom Brady does, and I think he's going to have a good year as well. I don't think it's going to be a year he had last year, but I think he'll have another good year. Number six is Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow he's another one who's in his second year, going into his third year, and he's going to make a tremendous jump as well. He's going to make that jump into upper echelon status. I think he's going to probably be fighting Josh Allen for the title of MVP of the league, and he's got great great talent around him with Joe Mixon in the backfield, Jamar Chase, his running mate from LSU, T. Higgins, running beside Jamar Chase and all of that. So he's got some great weapons in Cincinnati, and I think he's gonna stand up and make a um, fantastic leap. Number seven I have is Deshaun Watson, and even though Deshaun Watson will not be starting the year for the Cleveland Browns, he will be back, and he will be the starting quarterback for there. And I think even though he has not played in a year, and when he does come back, it will be over 2 years since he has played basically a game in the National Football League. Um, I do think that his talent still represents him as being a top 10 quarterback, and I think he will be. And when he come back, if Jacoby Brissett can keep the rig on the road, um, I think Cleveland, when he comes back, will be in the spotlight of being battling for a wild card spot. So I think that can very well happen. And again, I think Deshaun Watson has tremendous talent, and That's why he's number 7. Number 8 is Matthew Stafford. Now, as Matthew Stafford is going, have a little elbow issues, but everybody keeps saying he'll be fine. So we will see in a probably a week and a half on Thursday night. But he's got Cooper Kupp. They traded Robert Woods to Tennessee, but then they signed Allen Robinson from my Bears. And I think and he's got a lot of talent around him too as well. He's someone who can, you know, lift somebody up to their standards, so to speak, I believe. So Matthew Stafford is 8. Russell Wilson is 9. He is probably the biggest um, off-season acquisition this year, and that's saying something with even with the Tyreek Hill trade and the Deshaun Watson trade. I think Russell Wilson leaving Seattle, going to Denver, is tremendous, and we know that they've had a lot of talent on the offensive end. They lost Tim Patrick; he hurt himself, so he will be out for the season. But he still got some talent there, and I think Russell Wilson will do some good things in Denver. So he's number 9. Kirk Cousins is 10. I think Kirk Cousins is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in this league, and people say and people give him a lot of stuff because he doesn't do it the way that Josh Allen, that Patrick Mahomes, that Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, the way Joe Burrow, the way they do it. He doesn't do it flashy, something like that. But Kirk Cousins, he had single-digit interceptions last year, and he was very good last year. This is a very good to great quarterback in Kirk Cousins, and we need to start giving him the respect that he deserves. Kirk Cousins is 10, and then we can talk about his talent, with Irv Smith Jr. at tight end, and of course Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen on each side. So we need to talk about that. 11 is Derek Carr, and I think this is Derek Carr is a very good quarterback. And I think he proved it last year, but I think now he's in this new system with Josh McDaniels, and they brought in Devontae Adams. So you have Devontae Adams, you have Hunter Renfrow, and you have Darren Waller, all weapons to be able to use for Derek Carr, and of course you have the running game with Josh Jacobs. So he's going to be tremendous, I think, this year. Another sneaky MVP candidate for you. Number 12 is Dak Prescott. Again, had a great year last year. He lost Amari Cooper. There was a trade to the Browns for Amari Cooper, and he's lost some receivers this year. James Washington, I think, hurt himself in practice, and then of course there's another guy, Michael Gallup. I think is not coming. He hurt himself at the end of next year, at the end of last year, and he'll be coming back later in the season. So there might be some struggles. I think they're going to looking back to going back to running the football a lot more with Zeke and Tony Pollard, but I think Dak Prescott is a pretty decent quarterback. He has top 10 material, but he hasn't put it all together yet. Number 13 is Lamar Jackson. To me, Lamar Jackson, I think I've seen so many things this offseason about him and his contract. And let me tell you something. I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's good. He's good. He has an MVP on his record, but I think you have to look at the last 2 years. He has regressed some. There's no doubt about that, and he's also been injured. So I think the Ravens are doing the right thing, not giving him any type of money guaranteed contract. Let him prove that he can sit in that pocket and make plays. Because even though we saw that in his MVP year, last 2 years that has not been the case. It just hasn't been the case. So let Lamar Jackson prove that he can stand there, stay in the pocket, make plays from the pocket, use his, have that be his fastball in comparison to baseball, have that be his 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and then use his running game, where he can use his legs as that 84-mile-an-hour changeup, to fool the hitters. Let him use it that way. If he can do it that way, then fine. Pay him, if you prove that, then pay him the money that he might want. But until then, you don't do that because he's not worth the money that people are saying he is. He's not worth Josh Allen. He's not worth Deshaun Watson. He isn't. He right now he's worth at the most $160 million. And if you want to guarantee all of that, that's fine. But he's not worth anything more than $160 million. And let's prove that he can do things from the pocket. Number 14 is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan he's probably in his later years. He's probably headed down that path. Maybe only 2 or 3 years left for Matt Ryan. But he's staying with the Colts. The Colts have some great talent out there. Of course, Jonathan Taylor, the great running back, and their defense is really good. So the Colts are going to be someone to deal with in the NFC South. And they're going to have to deal with that. They're going to deal with that with the number 16 quarterback in a second, but number 15 is Kyler Murray, another guy who's got $230 million and 150 some million guaranteed. They had it put in his contract that he was, that he needed to study 4 hours a week, and it's just everything like that, and and then they decided to take it out of the contract, and then this preseason, Cliff Kingsbury have had Kyler Murray call plays to show him how hard it is. So I'm not sure what's going on out there. But to me, that system is perfect for Kyler Murray. I don't know if Kyler Murray could run another system. If you run a West Coast system or a vertical passing game, the the spread air raid offense, I think is perfect for him. So I think that's great to compare him with what's his face, Cliff Kingsbury. So and he again, DeAndre Hopkins, he got that, but I think DeAndre Hopkins is gonna miss some time, right? Or was that last year? I don't know what it is, but DeAndre Hopkins is there, AJ Green is there, so Kyler Murray is going to be there, so we'll see what they do. They need to get over the whole start fast, end slow mentality over there in Arizona. Number 16, Ryan Tannehill. Another quarterback that I think doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Again, I think he's a very good quarterback. He won't have A.J. Brown this year. They traded him to Philadelphia. But they did pick up Robert Woods from the Los Angeles Rams, who he's coming off an ACL injury, by the way. And of course, they get Derrick Henry back healthy. They're going to run the football. They're going to play good defense, and Ryan Tannehill just make the plays that he needs to play. He needs to make. And I think the Tennessee Titans will be right there in contention for a wild card spot, maybe even the division. So it's going to be hard to get a wild card spot because there are so many good teams in the AFC. The AFC is stacked. Number 17 is Mack Jones. Mack Jones, he had a great rookie year last year. Now, I talked about earlier, rookies making the jump from first to second and then the second to third. This is going to be his second year. He needs to make a little jump. Doesn't have his offensive coordinator, Justin Daniels, is now in Oakland. And who knows who's going to be the true play caller, if it's going to be Joe Judge or Matt Patricia. But either way it goes, he needs to step up and he needs to make a definite play this year if Buffalo wants to, not Buffalo, but if New England wants to make the playoffs. Number 18, Jalen Hurts. This is another one. Who's in his third year, and he needs to make a jump from second to third. He needs to prove to Philadelphia that he can be the quarterback of the future. And they did everything. They've got him good things in Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith. They've also got they traded for AJ Brown. They got a good tight end in Dallas Goedert. So he has a bunch of weapons. But he's another one who needs to stay in the pocket and not use his feet so much. They could rely on the running game as they did later on last season, but we need to see about Jalen Hurts because they have picks and they can use those picks next year to trade up and get one of the special quarterbacks that they're going to be coming out in next year's draft. Bryce Young to be CJ Stroud, just to make a few. So, but this is Jalen Hurts' time. He needs to prove that he can go here. Same with number 19, Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, this is another one. Now, I will say this: because of the whole tampering thing, they've taken away one of Miami's draft picks. So they don't have the draft conversation to maybe move up and get a quarterback this year, unfortunately. But they would maybe go after one in free agency or someone like that, because who knows? Again, maybe if a team like the Eagles or a team like the Bears, if they turn out to be horrible and then they come up, or maybe if you maybe have something like Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson doesn't sign, and the Ravens don't franchise him, they're not going to sign to a contract or don't franchise him. Maybe Lamar Jackson goes down to Miami, but this is Tua's third year as well, and he needs to step up big time. They brought in, and by the way, I mentioned Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is actually in Miami. I don't know what I was thinking with him being in Philadelphia. I don't know. It's the Alabama thing, I guess. But Jalen Waddle is in Miami, and so is Tyreek Hill. So, and they get Mike Gesicki, a good tight end. Yeah, this is Tua's year. This is another one. This is his year to prove that he can play in this league. Number 20, Carson Wentz from Washington. And I think this is Carson Wentz's last chance to start being a starting quarterback as well. Started for Philly. When he was young, he looked great. Remember when the year Philly won the Super Bowl, if people were saying that he was going to be the MVP, but at the game against the Rams, he got injured, and Frank Foles came in, took him to the Super Bowl, and won the Super Bowl. And he really has not been the same since that year. Even though the next year when he came back, he's having a good year, not the year that he had then. And it seems to have gone downhill from there. So I'm not sure. Maybe this is the time for Carson Wentz to step up and make something, because I think this is the third strike. If he doesn't, he's got that 0-2 count, or maybe it's 3-2. Maybe he can walk. But I would like to see him get a hit, become a hit, and get back becoming the Carson Wentz that we saw when he was younger. His talent, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson in the backfield. He's got some stuff that he to work with. So we're going to see about Carson Wentz. Number 21, Jared Goff. And this is another one that I think he's not on his third strike, but this is one where Detroit really does have some talent. And Detroit, I think, has a great coach. I love Dan Campbell. Watching Hard Knocks, loving him. I love the coaching staff he has created around him. All guys who have played in the league. So I love that. I love what he's done with that team in Detroit. And surprisingly, again, they did not draft a quarterback, or did they? I don't think they did. But they put the stuff around Jared Goff. So this is going to be Jared Goff's time. He doesn't have to take Detroit to the playoffs. He doesn't have to, go to the Super Bowl, anything like that. But he needs to show that he can play the game competently enough to the point where that he's not making mistakes in the big moments. He's not folding under pressure. Without having the quarterback in his year up until the clock gets out down to 15. So hopefully Jared Goff is something, he can do something there in Detroit. Number 22 is James Winston of the New Orleans Saints. Again, I'll be honest with you, I am very surprised that they did not go with Taysom Hill. That they've gone back to James Winston. Taysom Hill is now a tight end, and he'll be focusing more on that. So that's a shock to me. I thought Taysom Hill played okay during the times that he had last year, and then of course a couple years ago when Drew Brees got injured. I thought he was decent enough to where I thought he should have started last year. They didn't. They went with the guy who's got the stronger arm and the more he got more boom in his game, but he's also got a lot of bust in his game as well. But last year, you give him credit. He when he got injured, he had 14 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, I think. So he had cut down interceptions. So maybe he can do that here again. Michael Thomas is coming back off of dealing with his issues of whether it was injury or other things. They drafted Chris Olave and they signed Jarvis Landry. So he again talked about Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara as well. And their defense is still straight up good. So this is all on James Winston. And we'll see. They don't have Sean Payton, obviously, but this is all this is all on James Winston. And New Orleans should still be a contender for the division. Number 23, Mitch Trubisky. Chicago Bears' good old friend, Mitch Trubisky. He's been pushed by Kenny Pickett, but I do think that Mitch will start the season, and I think he'll play decent. He'll play decent enough. The thing that's going to be is that will he, because he's not going to lose you games, but he's not going to win you games. And Mike Tomlin may have to make a decision: is that do we want somebody who just won't lose his games, but won't win his games, or do we want someone who may win us some games but might also lose us some games? And even though Kenny Pickett has looked very well, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett is going to be the Justin Herbert type of quarterback, that plays great in his rookie year. But that's a decision Mike Tomlin is going to make, and I don't think he will be hesitant to pull the trigger if Mitch is not doing it for Pittsburgh Steelers, because Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season ever. Has not had a losing season ever. He said back when it was even, he had 8 seasons, but never a losing season. Last year was 9-8. So funny, it's gonna be interesting to see with the depth in the AFC what does happen to Pittsburgh, and what happens with Mr. Trubisky as well being the starter there. Number 24, Baker Mayfield. He won the contest over Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold also got injured either last night or the night before. We wish all well for Sam Darnold. But Baker Mayfield is the quarterback, and starting quarterback, and he will go into battle with his guys down there. There is some good things down there, but this is all on Baker Mayfield. This is a guy who's got a second chance now, and he needs to make another first impression, another good impression, just like he did in Cleveland his rookie year. Baker Mayfield had an interesting rookie year where you thought he had something there, and he hasn't seen too much of it since. So he needs to go ahead and find it there, and see what he can do down in Carolina. He's got some good talent there with the Curtis Samuel and Robbie Anderson. So, and of course Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey stay healthy, that's going to be a guy. He should catch another 100 balls, because that should be something. That should be a player Baker Mayfield goes to much often in the passing game. Number 25, Trevor Lawrence. He had some bullshit. There's no other way you can say it. Some bullshit, to deal with come with the coach from Ohio State, Urban Meyer. He's some bullshit to deal with down there with all his stuff and the way he just treated people and treated coaches, and of course doing the things of dancing with women and other things like that. So his first year was interesting, but now he's got a professional head coach in Doug Peterson. I think he will teach him the game and teach him some great stuff, and I expect Trevor Lawrence to make a big jump from first year to second year and become one of the upper echelon quarterbacks. When we do this next year, Trevor Lawrence should be in between that 12 to 16 range, I think, if he does everything right. So Trevor Lawrence, down there in Jacksonville, let's see what he does. Number 26, Trey Lance. He is the starter. He's taking over from Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know a lot about Trey Lance. We do know he has some great weapons: George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, just to name a few. They have a bunch of running backs that they switch in and out of. So this is going to be his time. I'll be honest with you. I've seen some Trey Lance games, preseason games. I think he's still got a lot to do. Talking about someone making a jump from first year to second year. He barely even played in that first year, but I think he will. And I don't know. I don't see this as a Patrick Mahomes type jump, but I think he can make a little bit of a jump, just to show everybody why he was selected number 3 overall, and 49ers traded so far up to get him. So I think he'll do that. Number 27 is Justin Fields, my team's quarterback. Again, last year, people want to blame Matt Nagy. I don't think Matt Nagy was the problem. I think it was other things that happened. You gotta put some blame on Justin Fields. He held the ball too long. He took sacks, tried to make plays when he used his feet when he should have just threw it away. He did what a rookie quarterback would do. So he didn't play very well. What should have happened is what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, Andy Dalton got injured, and for some reason, Mike Nagy decided to keep Justin Fields in. They should have, when Andy Dalton was healthy, they should have went back to Andy Dalton, and they should have kept Justin Fields on the bench, let him sit and let him learn. So this year he could come in fresh and renewed and things like that. So there's a new coaching staff, a new system, a lot of other things as well. He's got Darnell Mooney, he got Cole Kmet, but he's got a other bunch of other you know pieces that are not what you would want, or for, at least for a young quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers was here, you could know Aaron Rodgers could make some chicken salad out of the chicken shit that they have, and that's just to say, and that's not giving them giving the Bears receiving core a lot of credit because they haven't had the time. A lot of them haven't had the opportunity to prove that they could do something. Kill Harry, didn't do well in England. Maybe a change of scenery would help them. Equinemius St. Brown was tolerable for Green Bay. Byron Pringle was all right for Kansas City. And of course, the rookie Velus Jones out of Tennessee was apparently a good receiver, a better returner, but a good receiver for Tennessee. So we'll just see what goes on with Justin Fields. They're probably going to rely. Another team is going to rely on the run game a lot, but they need to still make sure that Justin Fields is being groomed the right way. Excuse me. Number 28, Zack Wilson. Zack Wilson is going to be on the shelf for a couple weeks at least because he had a sprained MCL and a bone bruise in the first preseason game. But this is another guy who they've got some talent around him. They picked up CJ Uzomah from Cincinnati, the tight end. They've drafted a couple players as well. Denzel Mims is asking for a trade, but who knows if he'll get his release or anything like that. But Zack Wilson is another one that should make a truly jump. He's got a great arm talent, and he is very mobile and things like that. And he showed some signs of brilliance last year. But this is some thing that he needs to do. He needs to stay out of the limelight for non-football reasons, dating his mom's friend allegedly, cheating on his girlfriend with his mom's friend allegedly. But he needs to focus on football, and when he comes back, I think he could play very well and become something for the Jets finally. Number 29, Davis Mills. Now Davis Mills at the end of the season played very well for the Texans. Lovie Smith is there, and I think if Lovie Smith is anything, he's someone that likes to run the football and play good defense, and I think that's what they'll do down in Texas, and maybe give Davis Mills an opportunity to slowly and surely improve that game, and we'll see what becomes of him. People are saying the Texans should be one of the worst teams in the league, and I do think that it will be the case. I think they will be. And then and it's hard for Davis Mills too because if he can't show that he's not the guy, they should have one of those top 5 picks, which means that Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud will be in the mix, and whoever other quarterback comes out of nowhere, this college season. So, but Davis Mills is 29. Daniel Jones is 30. This is another one. Another guy who really needs to show that he needs something like this. I really think this is a time for Daniel Jones, as the saying goes, to piss or get off the pot. He's been turnover prone and particularly fumbles prone. Doesn't hold on to the ball very well. This is a guy who needs to step up big time. Saquon Barkley, who we thought was going to be something special, but the injury has kind of taken something away from him. Hopefully he can get it back this year. And yeah, the talent he doesn't have around him. I think he's okay. I don't think it's very. I don't think it's that great. The receiving core or anything like that, but who knows? We saw what Brian Daboll, who's not a new head coach of the Giants, did with Josh Allen. So hopefully he can do that with James Jones. He doesn't have the arm as Josh Allen, but he does have the mobility, and that could help him out a lot. Number 31, I believe Marcus Mariota won the uh, quarterback competition with Desmond Ritter. So I'm going to go with Mariota. But if it's Desmond Ritter too, I haven't heard anything about it. But if it's Desmond Ritter, it doesn't matter because again, this is I think a team that's going to struggle. And Calvin Ridley suspended for a year for gambling. You still have Kyle Pitts. Cordero Patterson has become a tremendous running back, and who can touch the ball, who can get 20 touches a game, running and receiving. So that's great. And so I think um, if Ritter is the starter, that might be the way to go. But this is a very young team. Arthur Smith still going through some program changes. I think they need to find themselves, and who knows, maybe Marcus Mariota, another guy who's on his third team, maybe looking for trying to get a hit on his third strike before he gets struck out. But and maybe he might step up, but I doubt it. Who knows? But they have a quarterback issue there. And the 32nd ranked quarterback is Geno Smith, who won the thing last night after Drew Lock threw 3 interceptions in the game against the Cowboys. He missed the second game against the Bears because of COVID, and he's going to get extended time, and he threw 3 interceptions. I think Drew Lock has a lot of potential, but he's not putting it together. And Geno Smith won the opportunity to this. Now, who knows what happens if they trade, if San Francisco releases Jimmy Garoppolo, do they sign Jimmy and he becomes the quarterback there, or anything else happens? Who knows? But they're going with Geno Smith, and I'm pretty sure they're going to rely a heavy dose on the run game with Kenneth Walker the second, the rookie from Michigan State, and then of course Rashad Penny and many others. So DK Metcalf signed a long-term contract. They have a great receiving core with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But the thing is that can Geno Smith get them the ball to do something with them? We'll really have to wait and see. I personally doubt it. So there you have it. Those are my quarterback rankings. Really quick, let me just run through it really quick just to let you know. Josh Allen is 1, Patrick Mahomes is 2, Aaron Rodgers is 3, Justin Herbert is 4, Tom Brady is 5, Joe Burrow is 6, Deshaun Watson is 7, Matthew Stafford is 8, Russell Wilson is 9, Kirk Cousins is 10, Derek Carr is 11, Dak Prescott is 12, Lamar Jackson is 13, Matt Ryan is 14, Kyler Murray is 15, Ryan Tannehill is 16, Mack Jones is 17, Jalen Hurts is 18, Tua Tagovailoa is 19, Carson Wentz is 20, Jared Goff is 21, James Winston is 22, Mr. Trubisky is 23, Baker Mayfield is 24, Trevor Lawrence is 25, Trey Lance is 26, Justin Fields is 27, Zack Wilson is 28, Davis Mills is 29, Daniel Jones is 30, Mariota, Desmond Ritter is 31, and Geno Smith is 32. So there you have it, the quarterback rankings. What I think is going down, what I think of the quarterback rankings in the NFL. So there you have it. Please, if you have any thoughts, please post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think if you are watching on YouTube. If you are listening to this on where you listen to any other podcast, please either go to those YouTube channels and go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/AJTRIP, post it in the comments, or just hit me up on Twitter at ATRIP20 and let me know what you feel about these rankings. So there you have it. Again, Monday, August 29th, the running back list rankings from 1 to 32. And on Wednesday, the receiving core rankings of 1 to 32. Also, the NCAA preview podcast, September 2nd. That's coming out then. And then I think Wednesday, September 7th, excuse me, that's going to be the NFL preview podcast. All of these ones. This one right here, the running back rankings, the receiver rankings, the NCAA preview, and the NFL preview are all going to be simulcast type things where you can watch it here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on wherever you're listening to it on podcast form. So either way, but those are what's coming up. Next one is the running back list. Hope you will be here. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. It is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.